Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs. This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change.
Are you happy with the Trudeau government? Do you still think that they have your best interests in mind, despite the soaring inflation, the upcoming economic crisis, the multiple scandals involving Trudeau and his MPs, the stripping of rights that we have witnessed under this government, and their constant virtue signaling?
I will never apologize for standing up for an LGBTQ2 plus kids' rights.
In this video, we will go over the reasons why the Trudeau government is to blame for the rising gas prices that we have been experiencing since 2021. First thing first, let's take a look at the gas prices across Canada. During the month of June in 2022, the price of regular gasoline was at its lowest point on average in Alberta at $1.89 per liter, and its highest point on average in Newfoundland and Labrador at $2.16 per liter. If we look at the three most populous provinces in Canada, here's the gas prices on average in British Columbia, in Quebec, and in Ontario. Similarly, the national average price went from $1.34 per liter in 2021 to almost $2 on July 1st, 2022. Moreover, the gasoline market is not looking much better in the US. However, if we convert the highest price of gas on average in the US, which is in California, the converted price is similar to the Canadian national average. Thus, we can say that most Americans have it better than us. But in the end, Canadians have it at least better than some other countries. So, was Trump's prediction right?
That's bigger than a tax cut. If Biden got in, you'd be paying $7, $8, $9. Didn't they say, get rid of your car?
But why is the price of gas getting higher and higher lately? Well, most politicians, the war hawks, the institutions, the mainstream media, and the academics have a similar answer. They will say with no doubt in mind that the price hikes, the inflation, the recession, their unpopularity, and every problem that the general populace is facing with a little bit of COVID here and there are caused by only one man. And you probably know who I'm referring to. The war criminal, the bringer of destruction, the most evil man on earth, the white supremacist dictator who's even worse than the Orange Man himself. Big Vladimir Putin. Since the invasion of Ukraine last February, the Russian bad, Putin bad narrative has returned to the front seat. Thus, everything bad that has happened recently can be blamed on Russia. Is that giving you any flashbacks?
Putin's price hike.
Vladimir Putin. Russia. Russian.
No, I'm not over it.
Russia. Come on, man. Russia. Come on, man.
How long is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this war?
As long as it takes. So Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine and move beyond Ukraine.
As we came, we saw, he died. Did it have anything to do with your visit? No.
It's because of Russia. Russia.
However, despite the fact that most people with power and influence have vehemently been preaching this narrative since the Obama years, are there any other causes that can explain the recent skyrocketing gas prices? Yes, indeed. There are actually other reasons that contribute to this phenomenon, despite what is being said. So let's go over some of them.
We do know that it's a very active Russian campaign. That's according to the U.S. intelligence community.
Russian
disinformation campaign.
Are they wrong?
I think they're wrong 100%.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
Wrong.
proved over and over again.
Wrong.
This project is comprised of 6 episodes in which we will cover and explore the reasons that can explain why gas prices are and have been so high lately. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Russia is the third biggest oil-producing nation in the world. According to the EIA's data, the production of petroleum and other liquids coming from Russia was close to 10,800,000 barrels per day in 2021, accounting for about 10% of the global output. Europe is one of its biggest consumers and is dependent on Russia for crude oil and condensate imports, especially for natural gas. In fact, in 2021, most of Russia's crude oil and condensate export went to EU countries. Regarding Europe's dependence on Russian natural gas, 75% of Russia's natural gas export went to EU countries. For Canada, the imports of Russian oil are minimal because we have plenty here, but Russia has vast reserves of different varieties of oil and gas. Before we go any further, do you know what determines the price of gas? Well, there are different factors, such as the price of crude oil, the refining cost, the transportation cost, the markup at the pump, the consumer demand, and our favorite, which is the taxes on gasoline. Recently, most of NATO nations decided to put real sanctions on Russia instead of just banning Russian vodka, musicians, athletes, and dogs on top of stealing yachts from Russian billionaires, which had little to no effects on Russia. Thus, when those nations decided to go further in this conflict and restrict or outright banning Russian crude oil and natural gas exports, the global gas market started to crumble.
I just spoke a few minutes ago with President Zelensky. I told him that we are announcing strong action today and continue to stand with him and with the Ukrainian people. Earlier this morning, I met with G7 partners to coordinate our response. We're also working closely with NATO and our allies. Together, we have made clear that Russian violence, aggression, and violation of international law will not go unpunished.
This can be explained by the fact that you cannot just try to erase 10% of the global oil production without expecting the global gas market to take a hit, which it did. It's simple economics. This is what the Trudeau government decided to do recently, on top of sending weapons to Ukraine, even though Canada barely imports crude oil from Russia. But this isn't surprising coming from them, because we all know that they are virtue signalers and fans of children.
I want to close by asking all the moms to step out of the room for a minute so I can talk to your kids. I'll give you a second. Okay. Hey kids.
Yeah, that was weird. So, since politicians decided to stand with Ukraine and stick it up to Putin, we just have to pay more and more in the end for gas and everything, because almost all products are made from oil or transported by something needing oil to run.
Slava Ukraina! Slava Ukraina!
Glory to heroes.
My colleagues, Slava Ukraina! Slava Ukraina!
But we can at least count on the Saudi princes and a South American dictator to up their production and get us out of this mess, right? Yeah, not really. It won't make a difference in the end. However, you can at least make calls for violence against Russia. Zuckerberg will allow it.